Okay. So, shall we review the first couple of weeks of?
Yeah, that would be good. And yes, and I would like to just run through one more time the verse. Is it the verse that I started when I was trying to play it? I don't think I have that right.
Okay.
But yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay. Let me aim this down. Okay. So I'll just go through the entire song. All I Ever Loved Was You in G. All I ever loved was you. You broke a heart that cried for you. I've wasted all my tears on you. For all I ever loved was you. Go out and find somebody new, but you'll be sorry if you do. You'll never find a love so true. For all I ever loved was you. All I ever loved was you. You broke a heart that cried for you. I've wasted all my tears on you. For all I ever loved was you. Let him buy your rings and diamonds too, but you'll be sorry if you do. You'll never find a love so true. For all I ever loved was you. All I ever loved was you. You broke a heart that cried for you. You'll never find a love so true. For all I ever loved was you. Turn it around. For all I ever loved was you.
Okay, good.
Any questions?
Nope, that
Good.
one's pretty straightforward.
Good. Great. Let's go on to I Can't Stop
I'm
Loving You.
not ready to perform, but I don't have any
That's
questions.
okay. Do I Can't Stop Loving You in A. I can't stop loving you. I'm lonesome time. I can't stop wanting you. It's useless to say. So I'll just live my life in dreams of yesterday. Those happy hours that we once knew, though long ago, still make me blue. They say that time, A7 here, heals a broken heart, but time stood still since we've been apart. A7, I can't stop loving you. I made up my mind to live in memory of old lonesome times. I can't stop wanting you. It's useless to say. So I'll just live my life in dreams of yesterday. So I'll just live my life in dreams of yesterday.
Okay, so question I have for you is, how do you know where you're doing the walk ups and the walk down? Because, for A, sometimes you're using this E string, you're going from A and you're using the E string and you're coming back to A. I can hear that sounds right, but how do you know
Well,
what to do?
yeah, good question. A couple things is the chord change will happen in the same place every time, obviously. Like, I can't stop loving you. So that change happens at the same time. 1,
Right.
2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's going to be in the same place. But I can't stop loving you. So the walk up delivers you to that chord, to the next chord change, however many notes are in it. I'm just showing 2, but I can't stop loving you. You could fit 3 notes in before the downbeat of the chord change. So that's part of it. There's another aspect of this song where there's a walk up to the first chord change, like this. I can't stop loving you. That's one figure, which is boom, chuck, boom, chuck, boom. Walk, 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 loving you. So that the walk is an entire figure by itself. So there's the boom on the A string, boom, chuck, boom. And then it goes down, same thing. Boom, boom, up, boom, chuck, boom, chuck, boom, walk, 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 boom, chuck, boom, chuck, boom, walk, 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 boom, chuck, boom, walk, 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 boom, chuck. You see what I mean?
I have to think about this for a second. So when we're doing the walks, this is real basic, but
It's all right.
doing the walks, we're walking up to a higher pitch, right?
Yeah.
And when we're doing the walk downs, we're walking down to a lower pitch. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So, but what I'm not getting is why, like when you go from the end of the first, when you get, so I'll just live my life in dreams of yesterday. Yesterday's the A. and then you start with the chorus, those happy hours, or no, the verse, those
Oh.
happy hours. You're
Uh-huh.
going back to another A, but you're doing, so you're not going, you're on the E string. I'm not,
I see your question. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's what I would call an A to A walk. In other words, you're on the A chord, open E, second fret, fourth fret, back to A.
So I hear it sounds right, but why are you moving to the, I guess I'm trying to see if there's a logic in the movement between chords in terms of what string you're using, how it correlates to,
Because
let's see.
because you're gonna in order to, you're ending the previous phrase on the A chord. And dreams of yesterday. So that's ending on the A.
Yeah.
And then to get to A again, you walk up to A as if you were playing an E, but you're not. You're
Okay. Okay, let's see. So if I go from A to D, let's see, I've got A, 8, then I'm going A sharp, then I'm going A, B, C, D.
Could I see your guitar? Could I watch your
Yeah.
hands?
Let me see if
Yeah.
I can do this so you can see me.
Yeah, I just need to see your left hand.
Let me see. Let me move this. Hang on one second.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Great. I can't hear you now. Somehow the sound disappeared.
Okay,
There
the
you go.
walk up and the walks down, they're tied to the notes in the scale, right?
Yes.
I think so. And so here we're going at the A sharp, A, B, C, D, and then D, C, B, A.
Right.
Go back. Okay, so here we're going E, F sharp, G sharp, A. Okay, and that's in the scale. So we're just
Yeah.
walking back up. That's right before the A in the scale because it progresses, right? Then okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The walk downs will be 3, 4, 1 of the next chord. The walk ups will be 6, 7, 8 scale wise.
Oh, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's okay. 3,
It's been a
2,
long
1.
day.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, that's okay.
3, second note of the scale, first note of the scale.
And then the other one is the 5, 6.
Yeah. 6, 7, 8, or 1 of the octave.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
And that'll always be true for the walk ups and walk downs. They just are leading you to the 1 of the chord, either up from 6 or down from 3. And in the case of the A down to E, rather your question, you're on the A. Well, it'd be 5, 6, 7.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, good question.
Oh shoot, I keep going out. There we go, where I can see you. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's all I really had with that was
Okay.
that piece. That makes sense to me.
Good.
Okay.
So let's quickly go, let's capo on the second fret and play the key of A out of G shape.
Okay. I'm not gonna let you watch me because I need a lot more practice.
Okay,
So I'm just turning it off while I make all
That's
my
okay.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
sure. Okay, so in this case, we're again in the key of A. I can't stop loving you. So I'm going from the G chord up to the C. In that case, we just talked about 5, 6, 7, 8. Back down to G. And then 6, 7, 1 of the D chord. And then in this case, open, 2nd fret, G. So I'll do those again. Up to C, loving you. I made up my mind. Next to D, to live in memory of old lonesome time. Up to C, I can't stop wanting you. It's useless to say, so I'll just live my life in dreams of yesterday. Those happy hours that we once knew, though long ago, still make me blue. They say that time heals a broken heart, but time stood still since we've been apart. I can't stop loving you. I made up my mind to live in memory of a lonesome time. G7, I can't stop wanting you. Down to G, it's useless to say. Up to D, so I'll just live my life in dreams of yesterday. So I'll just live my life in dreams of yesterday. So the G7 that I was playing before the chord, yeah, it's the ring finger on the D string at the 3rd fret. So if you're
Yeah.
if you're playing the G with the 4 fingers, everything stays in place except that one finger moves up to the D, which actually is a really easy move once it gets comfortable.
Yep, yep, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. I really, really like that.
Yeah. Another thing you can do with that, I'll do it slowly here. You can walk down to the C chord. So you go G, G7.
So, okay, will you do it one more time slowly?
Sure. Yeah. G, 7, 2nd fret, open, C.
Okay, let's see. Oops. What are you putting, what
Yeah.
fret on the 4th string are you on?
I'm playing it out of the G shape. The ring finger hits 7 with the ring finger, and then you kind of keep the ring finger there until you get your index finger on the 2nd fret, and then yeah. So it actually just literally walks down from the ring finger to the index finger on the D string to open the D string.
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oopsie, second here, I got a second here. And then what do you strum after that?
C.
Oh, okay, the C.
Yeah.
Great.
The destination note will be the C note that's under your pinky on the A string. So again, G, G7. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
you're grabbing the G, G7, and this is the part of the move that's deceptively simple, with keeping basically your hand in place until you actually make the change. Then put your index finger down, let the ring finger up, and I've still got my pinky down here. It's just don't move anything you don't have to. Grab your C with a destination note under your pinky. Bum,
Great.
bum, bum, bum. Yeah, it's a nice use of the
Very nice.
G7. And that G7, as opposed to the one that most people learn first,
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
folky G7, where the crucial note is
Right.
high. This is right in the middle of the chord, which is cool.
Well, and it's a nicer sounding chord, I think, than the
Yeah.
other G7.
It is.
So,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
great.
Good. Let's go on to the key of D.
All right, Tia, pull that out here. I'm not familiar with this song. I did play it for myself, but I'm not real familiar with it. So
It's basically a Carter family song,
mhm.
and there's some nice versions of it. It's an old song that A.P. Carter kind of gathered and turned into his own version. It's from 1868. But the contemporary versions, if you listen to Joe Newberry and on the Garrison Keillor thing, that's the way people generally play it. Interestingly, if you're an old hippie like me, the Incredible String Band did a version of it back in the 70s, which was pretty cool. I remember it from then. That's actually the first version that I heard. They're an English folk band. And the Price Sisters do a nice version as well. But it's a good song for jams and things where you want to do a upbeat, positive song. You know,
Okay.
those are kind of few and far between sometimes. So it's and it's got a real nice chorus that is the same words every time. So it's the archaic language that a lot of the Carter family songs have. A bark, you probably know, is a type of ship. It's a certain kind of sailing ship. Barque, I think, is how it's actually spelled. But
I did not know that.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'll sing it through first and play it, and then we'll talk about the walks.
Okay.
Oh, actually, this is a D to D walk. We talked about the A to A walk last time. This is D. You're vamping on D, walking up from, as if you were on an A chord. If you were on A, you'd do this walk. But this is a D to D walk, which begins the song. My bark of life was tossing down the troubled stream of time. Since first I saw your smiling face, and youth was in its prime. Oh, I'll never forget where'er I roam, wherever you may be. If ever I have had a friend, you've been that friend to me. Misfortune nursed me as her child and loved me fondly too. I would have had a broken heart had it not been for you. Oh, I'll never forget where'er I roam, wherever you may be. If ever I have had a friend, you've been a friend to me. Now I look back upon the past, across life's troubled seas, and I smile to think of all I've seen. You've been a friend to me. Oh, I'll never forget where'er I roam, wherever you may be. If ever I have had a friend, you've been a friend to me. If ever I have had a friend, you've been a friend to me. So what this is all about, all the moves are with the pinky and the index finger on the second and fourth fret. That's the index and pinky, two finger, two fret miracle move is what I call it, as a mnemonic kind of a thing. And it's a good exercise to start using the pinky if you don't already. People that play fancier chords, are used to utilizing the pinky. Most cowboy chords, people don't use the pinky much, but it's a good practice to get it part of your chord changes. This is usually not a hard reach for people with between the index and the ring finger. You can do that, and it's fine to do it. And sometimes I do just to vary it. But it's nice to have the pinky strong enough and responsive enough to make that.
Yeah.
And
I find I use the pinky in a number of like jazz chords and things like that. They incorporate it. So I'm comfortable with that. So it looks like the walk up and walk downs are all ones that we've done before.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Is that right? There was a little fancy stuff that you added, but added one note to the walk. Okay.
But these are basically walks that we've done before. The difference is all of them are the fourth and second fret here. In other words, there's no walk like G to D. That's nothing like that in here. So the first,
but we haven't had any of those where we've changed strings. Really, have we?
Changed strings?
For the basic walk up or walk down, it's all been on the same string between chords, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is here too.
Yeah. Okay.
Except to walk up to G, but then to get back to the A string, D, then A string down to the A chord, A string up to D, E string up to G, A string up to D, A string down to A string up to D. Now that's a very busy part, but actually it's pretty simple. It's a good exercise to get used to making chord changes fast without a boom chuck in between.
Yeah.
And it's a little much. I'm not sure I would play it that way, but it's a really good exercise. And the you end up using part of the walks lead you up to the beginning of something. My bark, it's a kickoff kind of a thing. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, that kicks it off. Was tossing down. Then there's connective. A troubled stream of time. And some of them are a nice harmony to the vocal. So, as I said before, utilizing them either to kick off a new section or to complete a section, or because it just sounds nice against the vocal part. Those are all reasons to choose to use them or not. And when you make a choice, like at the beginning of a phrase, my bark, I would usually dig into that a little bit. And then get quiet. My bark of life was tossing down the troubled stream of time. A little louder through there because it's pretty against the vocal. So in other words, when you can, start thinking of your dynamics on the walks. Make them a little louder through a certain part,
Okay.
a little less loud through certain parts.
Okay.
Because that will make them a lot more useful to you underneath your singing. You'll use them to accompany your vocals, and you can use them to accompany other things that are going on instrumentally with other people. And as I mentioned before, a lot of the times the walk ups and walk downs will be a nice way to just use bass notes to set the tempo. The bass notes are, you can't lose them. You know, everybody is trying to find the rhythm at the beginning of something. I'm thinking of jam situations where deciding on a single rhythm is sometimes a big problem. But you're barking out the bass notes. And again, I would really recommend use the stiffest pick you can. I use a Clayton 1.20. I get them from Amazon when I need them. I pass them out to students. They're a big triangle shaped pick like this. They're kind of a yellow color, and they're quite thick. So depending on how you play, but most people play with a pick that's way too thin, a Fender medium or light, because they think it's going to be easier. In fact, the thicker pick you can play comfortably with, the better tone you'll get out when you're really trying to sound out individual notes. So anyway, yeah. So let's walk through the various motions on the first page where I'm introducing the song. It's got apparently a million steps to do.
Okay.
I'm just indicating each possible one because sometimes people like to go through those.
Can I ask you,
Sure.
so is most bluegrass in G, D, and A? Is that generally?
It depends on what the vocalist needs.
Oh, okay.
Some songs, like if you're doing a popular Bill Monroe song or a Flatt and Scruggs song, something that the banjos learned how to play when they were learning to play, they want to do it usually in the key that Bill did it in. That's a common minor argument that people have, and well, that's not the key Bill did it. Well, to hell with the key Bill did it in. It's the key the singer wants is the key
Right.
the song should be.
Right.
In.
Right.
But I mean, it's kind of true. The banjo players learned it out of a certain shape and wants to play it a certain way. So that happens. But usually it's the key the singer wants. My wife and I play things in G, G, A, D, C, F, E, B, B flat. Those are all keys that we sing in because it works best for the vocals. And that's
Okay.
why, I stress to indicate my limitations, but it's also an avenue to use that's become simpler because I play out of G so much. If my wife says it's in B flat, I'll just go here,
Yeah.
play it out of G shape, and I'm in B flat. If she says no, it's actually B, I just go up. If it's in
Yeah.
C, I go to 5. If it's in
Yeah.
D, I go to 7. And yesterday when we were playing, I went up here for E. So
How'd you do with that? That's pretty tight.
it's a pretty sound. And actually, another advantage of getting comfortable with playing around with a capo
Yeah.
and playing firmly is it opens up your guitar. Your guitar gets to resonate with those tones, and the string tension and it's good for the guitar. My guitar really began to open up for me when I started capoing around and playing all over the neck. Since I don't play fancy chords without a capo, like I took my guitar for a refret job a few years ago, and the guy said, "Boy, you really play all over the neck." And I said, "Well, I play cowboy chords all over the neck.
Right.
I got G, C, and D way up here, as if I know a lot, but I know this." And it sounds really cool. It's almost a mandolin kind of a range.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if she's playing down here and I'm playing up here, it's pretty. So,
Right.
yeah, but and the same thing, Mother Maybelle Carter, she exclusively played out of C shape. All the stuff she played, all the melodies that she played for her instrumental breaks were out of C shape, capoed all over the place. And sometimes the guitar is tuned down a step or two so she could play C shape.
Right.
And so, the limitation's good if life is short and I don't want to learn too much. So if I can play out of G and capo, that's what I'll do.
Right. Right. Okay. Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah. So the first one, let me get aim back down here to the so the D to D, A string, 2nd fret, 4th fret, pinky to the D chord. The next walk will be Park of Life, open E string, walk up to G, was tossing down. Now to get from G to D, instead of we've done G to D this way, where we've got the 2nd fret, 3rd fret, if you're in the key of G. To get to D, you use 2nd and 3rd fret. Here, because we're in the key of D, to get up to D again, so 2nd fret, 4th fret on the A string. Boom, boom, chuck, boom, chuck, boom, 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 boom. Now this has a little bit of the thing I was talking about in the last song, where you use the walk, boom, chuck, boom, and then begin another walk, boom, chuck, boom, chuck, boom, chuck, then begin another walk, boom, chuck, boom. That's a complete one. Boom, chuck, boom. Then begin a new one on the same note. Bum, 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 boom, chuck, boom, boom. So what's going on in a way is you're going boom, chuck, boom, chuck. You're hitting the string twice. I'll do it again here. And one completes a phrase, one begins a phrase. That's the end of a phrase. That's the beginning of a phrase. And you have to hit the string twice to sound the end and sound the beginning. And like I was saying about dynamics, that's a little quiet. To start the new one, you hit the same string a little bit louder. So it designates it's a subtle thing, but it keeps the pulse of the song going to emphasize things with volume, and it clarifies the walk up. This is all kind of, it'll fall in place, but you'll notice that I'm hitting some strings twice. It ends a phrase and it begins a phrase. So anyways, back to
Well, when you go from D to D, will
Yeah.
you show me that one more time? You're going D? Okay. Okay, okay.
boom chuck, boom chuck.
Do you ever go the other way? You never walk up though. You wouldn't do that. So the other way where you do your pinky first, that doesn't work. That's backwards. Okay.
You could do other things. Same basic idea, but you could
Okay.
go down to the T. You go down to the root of the chord, or you could go up to the root of the chord when you can.
So I'm gonna let you get continue in a minute, but
Yeah.
I'm still struggling with whether to use my pinky or not, because part of what I need to practice more is some leads, and so much of that is kind of automatic with where your finger placement is on the frets, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so there's part of me that's afraid to, because I notice already I like moving my pinky to hit not 2 frets down, but 3, because that's sort of what's ingrained, in my finger positioning.
Yes.
And I suppose if I was more confident as a player, that wouldn't bother me, but I worry about like messing up that muscle memory.
Yeah. Well, it's just another kind of muscle memory. And why I stress the 2-finger, 2-fret miracle move is because this little box becomes a territory that becomes very comfortable.
Okay.
So going between the 2nd and the 4th fret, anytime you're playing out of A, you've got so much going on.
I mean, it requires less movement in terms of sort of tossing your index finger down there, or your, not index, but your ring finger to get near the fret.
Right.
So you're more confident you're going to hit the right
Yes.
note, but okay.
Yeah, and one more thing about using the pinky to play this, when we're playing out of the key of C, or rather the key of E, we'll be on E. Now to get to the 5, which is a B7, so you're on E.
Right.
So you're on E, 4th fret. So, and if you're in E, you're going to use that a lot. 4th fret, open, 1st fret, E7. I'll do it again.
Well, which makes sense with assigning 1 finger to each fret. That makes sense, but I see what you're saying. You're relying on that pinky to hit the highest note in each of your walk up or walk down. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is kind of in some ways kind of a lazy move. But in other ways, I found for me it kind of instilled confidence. I always know where my 4th fret is. My pinky, knows the way home here, and so if I'm playing something and want to throw something in, it just flies to the 4th fret.
I see.
And there's some strength in my pinky that I frankly didn't have until I started doing this.
Right.
And and then when I'm doing things that are fancier, if I'm playing a break, my pinky is integrated enough into things that I know how to do that I'll use it sometimes just to give my hand a break. It's actually a useful member of society here. Where before, when I was just playing with three fingers,
Right, yeah,
it was kind of
yeah,
always just hanging out up here,
yeah,
and my
yeah,
hand wasn't really oriented towards,
yeah.
um,
Okay,
yeah. So
okay,
anyway, it's ultimately you'll do what works for you.
okay.
But this is just a way of focusing on this, because once if you like, I got into this when I was playing uh, with my ex-wife. She was taking leads up the neck. I was
Uh-huh.
basically playing the low end of everything down here, and often I would play out of A because you got these juicy bass notes, get down to the low E. It's kind of cool to play that way, and
Hmm.
and it was really playing bass kind of down on the low end of the guitar that I started doing that, and I realized how useful it can be underneath the vocals, and especially because it's the low end of the guitar. It'll be your lowest, using the lowest notes. Um,
Okay,
so yeah,
sounds good.
let's get through the.
Okay, yeah,
I'll walk through all of the walks. They're very repetitive, and again, I've put in every possible walk to do. Um, uh, and in fact, you wouldn't probably play them all. But anyways, I'll start at the top here. A D to D, my bark of life. Up to G was tossing down. Up to D, the troubled stream of time. Up to D, since first I saw. Up to G, your smiling face, and youth was in its prime. Now that's busy, and youth was in its prime, and youth, boom, 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 and youth, walk, walk, boom, chuck, walk, walk, boom, chuck, boom, chuck, boom, chuck, walk, walk, boom, chuck, walk. So you throw in one chuck in the middle of all that, and that's how you move around. This is good because when you're playing rhythm behind somebody else, you often don't need to play every boom chuck. You can just play the bass notes, and it keeps it cleaner. And if you have to go fast, sometimes you can't get in every boom chuck. So just kind of a way of breaking that up. Anyways, fine. Now there's the chorus. Up to G. Oh, I'll never forget. Up to D. Where'er I, D to D. Wherever you, down to A, may be. Up to D. If ever I, up to G, have had a friend. Up to D, you've been. Down to A, a friend. Up to D, to me. Now it's important to note all the walks really happen on the A string, if that helps. It simplifies it. All the really walking stuff, except walking up to G, but it's all on the A string with the index and pinky. So as busy as it sounds, there's really a small territory and a small number of options. You're either going up to the D or down to the A or up to the G. But, going up to D is always going to be like this. 2nd fret, 4th fret, D. And what can happen if you listen to music from this period where people are playing out of C shape a lot, but there's a certain figure that you hear a lot. If ever I have had a friend, you've been a friend to me. So you're going from D, then on the D string, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, fourth fret. Bum 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 bum. That is in so many things that frankly go between C and G shape. It's just an old guitar riff thing that happens in older songs, and it puts a nice flavor into the and that's all second and fourth fret stuff. Easier than it might sound when you first hear it. But once you start hearing those, you're playing a lead basically. And that's why I say if you start using the walk-ups and walk-downs, more applied, they turn into lead parts of a certain type that are really fun to play, and they stay out of the way of other guitar parts, and they really punch out a lot of cool stuff. I mean, they're nice figures. So the difference is most of those it's index, second, third, index, pinky. So it's just it's little riffs basically that once you hear them you can start to do, but you can and one more thing, the D run that I'm doing here, we talked about a G run where you're hitting the bass note, hammering the A string, landing on the D string below it with the right hand, pushing through the D string to the G string. And it can be fancier. 2 hammers on. And it can get fancier. The D basically hitting the D string, boom chuck, low E, second fret, open A string. So it's just A string, hit your D chord. Or a little bit fancier, A string, D chord. Or slightly fancier, so those are all downstrokes, by the way. So they build nicely.
Wow, very nice. Well, I have to get a lot more confident in my individual note plucking capabilities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does that. That's especially when you realize, oh, this walk is good. I've got this. I can always throw that walk in, and it's there. It means the right hand's getting comfortable, plucking individual strings to sound a note that has a good tone to it. And again, the stiffest pick you can use, the better tone you'll get. You'll have more control. Yeah. Also, just incidentally, the stiffer strings that you can use. I use medium gauge strings on this guitar. Gives it more volume. And my wife's got a triple O Martin about this shape that I put medium strings on it, and it just opened it right up. She'd had light.
Oh, wow.
So if you're feeling stronger or want to get stronger, using a medium strings on the guitar might be a nice answer. I actually discovered by accident the strings that I use are D'Addario. I used D'Addario
Yeah,
phosphor
what
bronze
I've got.
for many years, medium gauge. One time I ordered this set called that's right. I've got a little little thing here. Nickel bronze is a type of string that they make now. It's a different metal configuration, but they make it in a configuration that is they call it balanced tension. What that means
Hmm.
is the upper strings are stiffer. The high E and the B string are firmer, and at first harder to play. But I get so much better tone from playing these high notes out of the stiffer string. And I swear by them. I love this, the balanced tension. What it means is it's the same tension on the guitar top, but certain strings are firmer, certain strings have a little bit less. So it's not altering the guitar. But it's all about getting better tone and learning what your guitar will do when you're trying to play walk ups or trying to do a simple break or play a clean boom chuck. When I first got this, I was using light gauge strings, and I thought, I was just wish it was louder. Well, medium strings, it's louder, and so, anyways, all those things can really make a difference too.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, I think oh, okay, good. We're about time. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So next week, are we okay with back to, where the heck did my phone go? Here it is. To the time we had
Sure.
originally?
Fine with
Is
me.
that-
Tuesday night is good. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great.
That'd
Okay,
be good. Yeah. And then I will.
23rd.
Yeah. I will post
Good.
this video for the in-person class to look at.
Okay,
And um, and send you the link as soon as I get it up.
okay, thank you. Yeah, I really like having the classes video. This is the first time I've had this.
Yes.
And it's just so helpful to be able to go over and over, figure
Great.
out what the heck you're doing.
That's
So,
nice to hear too, because
yeah,
I believe it. Once you begin to get it, it makes sense, and the more you do it,
and you can play along too, so I appreciate you going over it a number of
Sure.
times. It gives different opportunities to play along with it, and that's helpful too, so
Great. Yeah.
terrific.
Yeah, and I found actually in the in-person classes at the Freight, people take the course. My wife took it 3 times before it all began to click, and just going through it with a different song, perhaps, and since suddenly it's making sense. It just takes time,
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
It'll come.
yeah, it does. Okay, thank you
Hey,
very
Carter.
much.
Nice to see
Okay,
you.
see you next week. You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.